Welcome, one and all, to the K.O.E. Nation for a very special Irish Spirits review. I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E., right here at K.O.E. Nation on YouTube and Twitch, and I am joined by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
Tony frickin' G, Irish Connoisseur 101. Like, share, subscribe, folks.
We're getting into one that you've been looking forward to for a minute or two.
I have been looking forward to this for a long time because you and Chicken actually gifted this one to me, and I have not gotten to dip into it for months, actually. You've made me sit on this like an asshole.
Made you?
Yeah, actually did. You actually did. Yeah, you're kind of an asshole.
Me? When would I ever do such a thing, Tony?
You and Chicken gifted this to me, and I've been courteous enough to not dip into it myself.
Oh, that's so nice.
Without reviewing it because it deserves that. The plastic's tight. Let's hear the cork. Oh,
That was a good one. That was a good one.
like it.
All right. Give you a good, healthy dram there.
Now, we were, let's be frank, overly impressed with Powers Gold Label, the standard bottling, before they changed it up to the red and white shorter version.
Yes. But this one is the Powers Single Pot Still 3 Swallows Irish Whiskey. You are a bit of a fan of pot still.
I love pot still Irish whiskey. The gold label was superiorly surprising. The gold label is highly regarded. The 3 Swallows is highly regarded. The John's Lane is very, very highly regarded. So compared to the gold label, this is the next up in the line. So
I like it says right here.
Very excited.
Guaranteed only pot still. Because pot stills are known for infusing a little more flavor. But on the back here, unique story, bottled. 3 Swallows release proudly pays homage to the Powers family coachmen and their 3 stable of horses. To keep warm in the harsh Irish winters, the 3 coachmen would each take a sip from their hip flask. 3 Swallows, 1 quality story. So, now Powers is a distillery that makes a whiskey that a few people might have heard of called Jameson.
Oh.
And that
Middleton's?
Middleton Distillery, one
Oh.
of your favorites, actually.
Oh, strangely enough. Yes, Middleton Distillery. Powers. 3 Swallows. Oh, yeah. I have been looking forward to this for a very, very long time.
You're going to take that up to your nose and have a very specific thing come to your mind. I'll let you get a few more smells before I sully your mind with it, but it's something specific. We've had it before. We've had it a lot, actually.
There's a cotton candy sugar there.
There is a sweetness there.
I'm going to go...
Dare I say, a honeyed sweetness.
I'm going to go... Ooh. I'm not honestly thinking of the Powers Gold label here. I'm thinking of
Speyside Scotch.
If you want to immediately go to honey,
First thing I thought of when I took a smell.
if you want to go to honey, yeah, I can see where your mind would go with it. This for me is more like a marshmallow sweetness,
Excuse me.
like a jet puffed, the not liquid but liquid canister jet puff mallow. You got to spoon it out of the canister. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You in the Scotland region or Irish region probably have no effing clue what I'm talking about. But the jet puffed.
Butterscotch.
Yeah, more butterscotch sweet, but specifically sugar sweet.
That's what, I'm getting a lot of butterscotch now that I'm getting into it.
That liquidy, which is marvelous. I enjoy it thoroughly.
Well, folks,
I've waited long enough.
We really need to take a sip of this.
Yep. All right. Yep. 2 clinkies. Hmm. Oh. Ooh.
We'll let you go first.
46 ABV. It gets a little harder than that. If you really roll it over your palate. This hits a lot harder than 46 ABV. Honestly.
Yeah, and there's a warming as it's going down.
There is.
Like
especially for an Irish. It's really, really sweet. But
this does remind me of a lot of malts. Like I'm getting I'm suspecting there's might be some corn here in the mash bill, but
I was gonna say if I had to guess a grain, I would immediately think corn.
It's mostly malt, but there's some corn in there. If I
would think corn just because of the sweet factor.
Somebody in the comments are like, Phil, you don't know nothing.
But that's not an insult at all.
That's this is interesting.
Actually, that's a pretty big endorsement from he and I.
Yeah. Boy, howdy.
Wow.
This one's tough.
Honestly, this is really nice.
The flavors are all over the place, but it does give me, again, like a bit more of like almost a Highland Scotch on the flavors. I know, like Irish whiskey people are going to be very insulted, but I know it's not. But that's what it's reminding me of.
I'm not getting that
but
automatic.
Very robust in its flavor.
I'm not getting the automatic Speyside Scotch.
Well, I'm getting that just on the nose. I'm not really tasting it.
It's that gelatinized marshmallow sweetness. That's all I am thinking. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
That
and it is there. So
I can't get past that. It's so sweet. There's a little bit of woodsy, oaksy, but
not much.
Not much.
This is another one where all of its quality comes out in the distillation process.
This does remind me.
Now, Jameson does have good Coopers, but we'll get there. Now, for those who don't know, we're getting to the very hard part, the grading. And we grade on a 5-star scale. 5 meaning you need to have it before you shuffle off this mortal coil. 0 to a half star meaning, you can leave it behind. So, we're going to grade this as an Irish whiskey.
Yes.
As a whiskey. A cask-aged spirit. It's shelving, and then the secret 5th question. So, Tony, as an Irish whiskey, as an aficionado of Irish whiskeys, how would you rate this on a 5-star scale?
You hit it on the head when you said Jameson and Middleton has great Coopers, and that's exactly what this is, but it's so sweet. I love sweet. I love me some Irish whiskey. I know you like sweet, but I don't know that this is going to exactly hit on your palate. And specifically talking about an Irish whiskey palate, I'm only going to give this a 3.
Okay. I'm going to be considerably more generous than you on an Irish whiskey.
Really?
I'm going to give this 3.75 as an Irish whiskey.
Wow.
I think it's a great Irish whiskey. I really do. I think I could see myself sipping on this more than just tonight. Okay? I'll put it that way.
This is
like you said, it's got that candied sweetness, but it's also got all these undertones of Scotch that I'm still catching. And I wonder if the candied sweetness, like I said, if there's corn in the mash bill, I wonder if it's not
corn and candied sweetness. Wonder why he likes it.
Well, I'm thinking that might be where the candied sweetness is coming from.
It is.
Because corn is a very sweet grain in distillation, but if you leave it with just that, it'll start to get bitter, and that's why they mix it. All right. Now, as a whiskey, now this is putting it up against a much more wide world of sports, all the scotches, all the bourbons, all the Canadian whiskeys, all the Japanese whiskeys, you name it, the world of whiskey. On a 5-star scale,
go ahead.
This one's tough because this one would go great on the rocks, in my opinion.
I think this would do
Like
very well on the rocks.
and not even just an ice ball, but finely crushed up ice. Pour that
It'd
into
be
it.
very subtle. It'd be very light.
I would say I'm gonna give it 3.25 as a whiskey.
As a whiskey, I'm actually going to be a little more generous. I'm going to give it 3.75 because you're right. It would do very well on the rocks.
I don't think you should cocktail it.
I would not cocktail this. I would not put this on the rocks. If I asked specifically for a whiskey and this was what was given to me, I would not want to do anything more than just have this neat. As a whiskey, it's sweet, it's approachable, it's delightful. You can be like, oh my goodness, what is this? This is an Irish? Really? It's sweet, it's approachable. I'm not offended. I'm not gritting my teeth at all. This is a really nice whiskey.
This is one that if you were to twist my arm and say, what would you make a cocktail out of this? I would say whiskey fix, 2 ounces of this whiskey, 1 ounce of lemon juice, 1 ounce simple syrup, shaken, served over crushed ice. I think that would be actually an ideal cocktail for this.
So as we move on
to cask aged spirit. Now, may I? I'm going to be considerably less generous here. The Coopers do an amazing job at Middleton Distillery.
They do.
The distillation process is really the star here. The aging is really not. There is a Powers 12 year. This has no age statement on it. I would suspect from what I've tasted, somewhere from around 5 to maybe 8 years. Like this isn't young. Like this isn't 2-year-old whiskey. This is good whiskey, but I'm guessing it's probably not a decade yet. So that would be my. So I'm gonna give 2.75 as a cask aged spirit. What are you gonna do, T?
Without an age statement, judging it solely on its taste, solely on its look, I'm actually gonna give this as a cask 3.5.
Ooh, nice. 3.5 stars.
I think it shines a lot harder in this regard because without an age statement, given that it's from the Middleton Distillery and given that it is a respected Irish whiskey brand, this does hit far above its weight class while not having to boast an age statement. Now, if you took the same Irish whiskey and you put a 10-year age statement behind it, you're automatically going to start thinking, oh, this is one of the best whiskeys ever. But this does it without having to boast such a thing. Now, we've had the gold label.
Good stuff.
We've had the 3 Swallows. Now,
then there's the
we're going to try the John Lane.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
That's what I mean, though. Like, the Middleton Distillery from the Irish Isle, it just keeps getting better, folks. And this is one of the best. And this is really nice. This is really sweet. And I know without the age statement, it does hurt it for you. But you are a big fan of the Powers. And this one has not disappointed you at all as a dessert whiskey.
No. Yeah, this is exactly. It's an after-dinner drink.
This
is where it
I knew exactly where you were going.
If you didn't have cognac for after dinner or before bed, this would excel.
Oh my God.
That, like this would this
is beautiful.
You got it right there. I mean, it's an after dinner or before bed drink. It's perfect for that.
This is beautiful. This is so sweet. It's only 46 ABV. It's not offensive to the palate. I'm really enjoying this. This is beautiful.
Yeah, God, you're right. Like I'm with all of that, I'm gonna have to revise my score and kick it up from 2.75 to 3. 3 stars as a cask aged spirit.
Thank you.
Because I mean, this is Middleton. It's not like they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
like
this is the heavyweight of Irish whiskey, folks.
Yep. So I gotta give, and yes, everything from here has impressed me. And despite some of my lower scores, I wonder how this would do in a blind flight against other Irish.
I think this would do really well just because of how sweet it is comparatively. But here's the thing: like, if you've gone a while without actually experiencing some of the offerings from the Middleton, even just the standard Jameson, even just the lowest of possible offerings, you'll be surprised to find just how sweet those are. Yeah, this is actually very comparable to a standard Jameson.
Yes, and if you're gonna make do with only one Jameson, IPA cask, mate. Come on now. Like that just might be because Tony and I have had quite a few fun nights.
It is marvelous. Yeah, it's fucking delicious.
So now we move on to shelving.
Oh, this is a middle for me all day. This is I love me some dessert whiskey. There's nothing more approachable than something you can say, I had a nice meal. It was a very carb heavy meal, or it was a very meat heavy meal, or it doesn't matter. If you can go and sit down.
This would go with pasta or
this would exactly. If you can sit down and have a dram of whiskey after a big, full-bodied meal, enjoy it, and it was sweet like a cookie or a cake.
Or really, whatever foods are considered rich for you.
Yeah.
Like this would be a great one to enjoy afterwards. Like I said, I would use this for all the occasions I would use cognac. And there's actually quite a few of those if you talk to me on a good weekend.
We expected this to be very sweet, and it is, and it's very appropriate.
Oh yeah, that pot still really shined through. So now, Tony. Now for me, shelving, if it's from Middleton, it's probably going to be on my middle shelf because it's so appropriately named. And everything that I've ever had from Middleton, it's never touched my bottom shelf.
Nope, middle.
There's only been a handful that I've ever got close to the top, but middle shelf all day long. And even, like you said, their base offerings, great middle shelf stuff. So now, Tony, we move on to the secret fifth question. When I got this bottle for you, it was $54 USD plus tax. So let's call it 60.
Sure.
Okay. So when this bottle runs empty, $60 USD in this year of our Lord 2021, will you seek another bottle when this one runs empty?
As big a connoisseur as I am of the Irish whiskeys, I've got to have some Powers on my shelf. The gold label hits so fucking far out of its weight class that it's not even funny, but this is so sweet that you've got to appreciate high sugar concentration in your whiskey. If you don't like a sweet whiskey, this is not going to appeal to you. I really like a dessert whiskey. I know you do. Oh, this is tough. This is really tough. If I have not tried the John's Lane, I would probably get that before this, but I maybe, depending on the price, would get this over the gold label.
Yeah, I mean, now the gold label that I got for you for Christmas last year.
Fantastic.
And full disclosure, I got it on a sale for a closeout for a store that's going to quit selling liquor altogether. So I got.
But you got the standard.
Yeah, and I got one that was very interesting bottle.
Not the red and white label, but the actual gold label.
The one that they generally sell in Europe.
Yes.
So, but this one is our next step. And then there's Powers 12. And then there's this lane that we need to get into. So there's a lot more. But to me personally, this is like top 5.
I know this is right up your alley.
Like, I know I didn't rate it very high in any of the ratings, but like, if only just for personal taste, this one would be one that I would definitely consider. But I also want to try the 12 and this Lane whiskey that you seem to be so interested in. And so that will be my answer to that, is we will see, but I suspect I'm coming back to Powers 3 Swallows. So
we're going to have such a great 32 Irish whiskey tournament. It's going to be amazing.
Oh my God. I mean, the rye one we're in the middle of is already quite the project, so we will get there soon, folks. So, folks, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us this evening for our very special Irish whiskey review. I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E. You can find me at K.O.E Nation on YouTube and Twitch, and I am signing it off and handing it off to my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
10-time champion, Tony frickin' G. Point at it, Phil. Like, share, subscribe. Folks, Scotch, bourbon, Irish, whiskey. There's really no other place to be than the K.O.E. Nation. Thank you for joining us. Can't wait to see you next time.
See if it just smooths itself out.
Get back, tell you what I'll do. If I ever get back, I promise to refabricate you, raging rivers of gold. That's what the brochure advertised. And now we're lost, we gotta take it down. Let you down slow, it's hard to survive. El Dorado. Oh, Lord. Well, let's see how that one went.
Yeah.